Hey guys, welcome back to Value Town. I'm ChanManV, and they're Noxious and Reynad, and we've been talking about just classic and basic sets. Just had some technical issues that we just fixed, so thanks for being patient with us. We were in the middle of talking about Black Knight, and Ray got cut off right when he was talking about it. So, thoughts on Black Knight?
I covered most of it
Okay.
before I cut out, but yeah, it's basically like a card that was dominant for a year and for good reason. It's very swingy, in in the metagames or it's popular. I think it's a fine card to have as is though. It's tough to win after getting Black Knighted, but it's also a card that you can kind of play around in a lot of cases. And I think it's not too bad of a dynamic. It is kind of frustrating when you have a draw that kind of has to play Ancient of War on a certain turn, and then Black Knight comes in and wrecks you off the top. But I mean, any cards like that, I think it's balanced okay though. Don't need to nerf it.
Yeah, we were arguing about that yesterday, Chen and I, because I was saying Black Knight's fine, and he really didn't like it.
Well,
So,
I
like, I kind of get your point though, because I feel like the card might be a bit too, as you said, design limiting, where you don't want to play taunt and they get no respect, as a result. So, it's kind of I'm on the fence about it. I'm on the
Yes.
fence.
While you're off the call, Ray, I was just making the point that I feel like taunt is it's seriously undervalued right now, like in constructed especially. In arena, it still has function in arena, but generally speaking, right, taunt you give up body stats for that text, right? And normally it's just like when you're having minion battles, it's like a disadvantage most of the time. But I feel like they're having to come up with cards like Bolster and things like that just to try to make taunt even more viable. And when Black Knight's around, and I don't actually think all those things that you said about Black Knight, I totally agree with too. But I just think Black Knight being around it again just discourages anybody from playing any kind of taunt minions outside of just like your typical, Death Lord or Belcher against aggro decks, right? That's like the only scenario.
Well, taunt. The biggest reason for taunt is to protect against combo decks. That's like the big advantage. Stops you from dying to faceless like warlock combos. Stops you from dying to druid combo.
Mhm.
Oil rogue. Like those are the reasons to play taunt. It's not actually like that good against aggro. I don't know. In Hearthstone, you can't just ignore a minion, especially early game, because it's going to attack every single turn.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
everything kind of has taunt that's cheap already. But yeah, I agree that the later game taunts could probably be statted a little bit differently. Maybe something like Ancient of War should be
Mhm.
like a 3/12,
Yeah.
something like that, for example. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Alex Straza. So this card, it's been a staple of Hearthstone since the very beginning, and it's been problematic, at least for me. It's been problematic from the way it's used offensively more than defensively. Thoughts on it, Noxious?
I feel like I remember back when it used to remove the armor, it was even worse.
Oh
So
God,
like that was kind
yeah.
of a glitch
Oh.
they fixed, but the core of it hasn't really changed. Where the goal is to usually not use it as a Draxus where you heal yourself, but as a, oh, I'm gonna kill you right now. Like I wouldn't mind this card being Reno Jackson like without a condition where you just drop it on yourself and heal for 15. I'd be down with that because like a huge healing card. I just don't know if I like the fact that you can just prepare, like no matter how defensively somebody plays, you've got them down to 15. Like it doesn't matter what
Mhm.
they've done up until that point. I really don't like that.
Like two-turn combo in a lot of situations,
Right.
right? Ray, how about you?
Yeah, it's pretty uninteractive. Like I actually expect this card to get nerfed. I would
Yeah.
not be surprised at
Yeah.
all. It's going to be a staple of a lot of combo decks moving forward, and yeah, really flexible, broken with other cards that they should probably change, like Ice Block, even when you're using it defensively. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's this one's actually like a little bit oppressive, I guess, if you're gonna nerf combo decks. On the other hand, I do really like combo decks. I kind of hope they don't nerf them
hmm
because they're cool. You don't see them too much anyway.
Yeah, and they make for exciting type of play, and a lot of times, at the highest level, I don't think people realize that you can play around. Like it takes a lot of, you know, um, predicting, playing around potential scenarios. That's where like a lot of the skill is. Like in terms, or that's really cool to see that type of skill at the highest levels too, in defense of combo decks. I don't think that's I don't know. That's not talked about enough. Everybody just bitches about just getting run over by them and don't appreciate that. But yeah, Alex Straza, that's got to be one of the like top 5 public enemies, I think, in terms of wanting to change, or at least they will change. Okay, another dragon. We're gonna and this one is, I'm not sure if it's a problem or not, but I thought it was worth discussing since the handlock, the whole giants are I think are something that we agree on, or everybody agrees should be changed. What about Twilight Drake? You know, that turn 4 handlock Twilight Drake that has enormous amount of health, you know, playing in that style.
Yeah.
Reynad, what do you think?
It's going to depend a lot on what they do with silence, right? Because we don't know if they're going to keep Iron Beak Owl and Spellbreaker in. If they remove them, then Twilight Drake starts to look a lot scarier. But it is a card that you really only see in Warlock and once in a while Mage. So I really like where Twilight Drake's at right now. It's a card you don't see all the time, but when you do see it, it's really good. But yeah, without silence, maybe it's a little bit too strong. I'm not sure. Might have to be like a 4-0 if we're nerfing silence or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Wait, Nox?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to remove it if you ever do, because I feel like it's such an integral part of handlock. The thing is, like, in which other decks does it fit that well? Like, there hasn't been a billion decks where it works. Like, for all intents and purposes, it could be called like, it could be like Demon Dragon, and for all you care, it's just like a Warlock card. At this point, some people have played it in other decks. You've seen it in Shaman, it's come up. Like Mage has played it as well in their Dragon Mage decks. But
Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's never been over the top. But if silence doesn't like gets changed, then that card just becomes a bit too powerful on curve, right? Like assuming you played on curve. If you play it later and you don't have a big hand, then that's not really that big of an issue. Like sometimes it still ends up a 4-3 nowadays, depending on the circumstances. But I don't know. I don't like it on curve too much. I don't think it has to be removed though.
yeah,
Probably not that badly.
yeah. 4/8 for 4 is pretty awesome. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be removed too, especially with the whole dragon theme too. We gotta
Yeah.
have some dragons in this, base set, or otherwise.
Yeah, we need a 6-drop dragon, man. We need a 6-drop dragon. That's all I
Okay,
want.
yeah.
I want a 6-cost dragon that does something cool.
Oh, we
Like
really don't
heals
have
me,
one.
has I don't even know, dude. Like something. I don't even know.
Okay.
Give me
Well,
armor.
Well, okay. Why don't we get to Q&A? We spent a lot of time on those cards. That was great. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. But let's get to some of the questions on Twitter. If you guys want to get your questions last minute, tweet to ValueTownGG and try to get to them. This one I will ask you, Ray, since you're the Magic, or you've had the experience being a Magic player here. MTG releases approximately 1,000 cards a year, while Hearthstone only does, he says, 100. Do you agree that they need to address this issue with Standard coming?
Yeah, I mean, I've long been a proponent of more cards being released. I was actually going to make a video on how I would do it. I think
Okay.
from the get-go, they should at least start with 4 sets a year. I think 3 sets a year is just too few. It does take more work into releasing a set than people realize. I mean, they need to wait for voice recordings from 8 different languages, and
Yeah.
they sourcing the art and making the cards easy and all, but then you have to bug test a million different interactions, and then you have to wait for these third-party companies that they're outsourcing bug testing to, and it's just a long process. So I get why it's hard to do more than 3 sets, but yeah, I think 4 would be a good start. And on top of 4 sets, I would like them to make a 5th set where they release a card once a week, just one card. So something like that I think would be cool. But
Okay. Yeah. So just some bucket set, I guess, that are just ongoing yearly set. Okay. Yeah.
I hate these downtimes of months of nothing, right? We just digest content too fast for how fast Blizzard releases it, and I don't think that's just limited to the people that play the game for a living. I think even the casual player digest the set very quickly. They get bored after 3 or 4 days and they stop playing. So yeah, I think it should just be more new stuff coming in more often.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Noxious, any comments about that?
Well, I mean, I know they've actually mentioned that they will only do 2 sets a year plus an adventure mode or something in the middle, sometime in the mid-year. I'm not sure exactly when. So I'm not sure if that's something that's going to be staying there forever, but if they do, then again, like that idea of releasing at least one extra set as a trickle will be necessary because like it doesn't look like much maybe from the outside. People that don't sit in front of their computer and play video games as like a hobby, but gamers are pretty quick at eating stuff up, and it's made even worse by the fact that you have platforms where people discuss that stuff all the time. So
Yeah,
like
net decking and
it's too
yeah.
quick. It's too
Mhm.
quick.
Yeah, I think right when the changes happen, I think that obviously will have the biggest gap of meta
Sure.
changing. But yeah, as the year goes on, it's going to just start just slowing down like we see it, and then we'll have the big change up again. But towards the end of the year, we're going to start seeing a lot of staleness starting up again.
Maybe with the two formats is going to be better though. So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
see.
true. Let's see. We got a question. Oh, this is kind of questions we've seen before. Okay. This is, I guess, a long. You kind of answered this one with the monthly one. Do you guys think that Blizzard should chance rarity cards or change rarity cards like Flame Strike for the arena?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't think that their rarity balancing took Arena into account in the early days of Hearthstone, and they've gotten better at it since. Like with League of Explorers, they started to pay attention now. I think they hired somebody for it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think they can go back and switch some rarities up, have things make sense again.
Yeah. Just with the changes that we know about, Mitch Ford asks, are there any decks you are looking forward to testing after Standard comes out?
I hate
Ram Druid. I don't
those
know.
questions.
Yeah, like I don't know what
Yeah,
the
I
new
knew you were
set's
gonna
gonna be.
say
Like
that.
there's no way it comes
I
out
knew
alone,
you were
right?
gonna
Like,
say that.
The new set is gonna
stop asking these. But
the new set is gonna be half of the card pool.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know, and I'm not going to waste like my brain power and time thinking about like what cards suck the least in the 40% of the format that we can see.
Okay, Nicola Rusev asks, how would you replace Zombie Chow? Since Zombie Chow is going to be gone, right, with GVG, with Nax. In other words, how would you design a control-only one-drop? I guess that's neutral, maybe open to everybody, right, or available to everybody. Is it just a 2/3 that doesn't do anything, like just a vanilla 2/3?
Would that be played in control though? Everywhere.
Play it in every deck. In the game.
Right,
So-
that's true. So design a control-only one-drop. Okay.
Jouster, I guess, was actually a pretty good shot at it.
Yeah, it was a
okay.
interesting attempt.
Yeah.
If it was like a 1/3 that got +1 attack, that would be a way to do it. That's reasonable. I would make class specific one drops. A card like Lowly Squire is actually perfect for Rogue. It's better than Zombie Chow and Rogue. It's really good. If they could make one that's like only good in Mage or only good in other stuff, but also one drops are like the most dangerous cards to have in games. It's in Hearthstone especially. The difference between doing something turn one and not doing something turn one is just game winning.
Yeah.
So it's really dangerous to make one drops readily available, and I think it's kind of okay that there are only a few of them.
Well, I mean, we have some that are just extremely powerful. One of the cards you hate the most, right? Mana Worm, right? is one of them for the class, and now we have Trog. That's actually quite strong too. Do you want to see that for basically every single class, or would you rather see something more like what we see in Hunter, right? With the Spider.
Spider's probably a little bit better of a design. I mean, you can see
Cleric
like
as well, right?
Shaman went from being unplayable, and then it gained only Trog. That was the only card it got. So 28 of the other cards existed before, and it became tier 1 for like 4 weeks in a row. Like it became the best deck in the game for like 4 weeks in a row. Like the most people got to top 5 legend with it. So yeah, it's one drops are a big deal, and it's scary to print more of them. And they're the cards that I would be the absolute most careful with when trying to make new ones. If I were Blizzard, I would err on the side of unplayability.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for the questions today. So thanks for all you guys that tweeted in, and thanks everybody for watching. But why don't we go into some shout outs? Noxious, you want to start off?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Complexity as usual for supporting me as a He's a guy on their team, and Soylent for sponsoring the stream and everything else. So thanks to those guys, and of course you guys for making the show happen. Thank you, Chan.
Ray, shout outs.
Shout out to our CSGO team. You guys are killing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Gonna cheer them on and watch them play in Poland in about a week. It'll be cool. Excited for that. Yeah. TempleStorm.com, of course, where you can find comfortable form-fitting clothing like Chris and myself are wearing.
Preferably mine, guys.
No. Reynad's one is good for you. Can use it as a like you can double up as a
Fucking-
PJ, dude. You're good to go.
Fucking haters.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Dashing
That's
good looks.
awesome.
This won the vote, man. This won the.
What?
This is what people voted.
This is what the fans had input on that shirt.
TempleStorm.com/vote. I think it's still up.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you can check it
Glorious.
right now.
Let me see this. People voted for this.
Yeah,
they-
it won. It won the vote.
Wow.
And
He's
you know why?
offended by it.
You know why I think it won the vote though is because if you're a guy that just wants like a cloud in the middle of the chest, your vote is split between like 9 other designs.
Okay, sure.
Whereas if you just like, I don't know, little bolts, then it's like
You want clouds everywhere. Then this is.
there's only one option, right?
Yeah.
right. That's a good
Either way.
theory. That's definitely a good theory.
Yeah, either way it won, so
Yeah,
we did it.
It's definitely awesome. No, yeah, this shirt, guys. You gotta definitely check out this shirt and huge thanks to Tempo Storm for sponsoring Value Town. It's always amazing. Definitely check out their CS:GO team. You guys didn't watch it this weekend. It was pretty amazing. They just were whooping up on NA teams. I guess you guys probably weren't happy if you were one of those NA like fans, one of those NA teams, but
Man,
it's pretty
Brazil
cool.
is the last hope of North America.
Oh wow.
Brazil is turning into StarCraft all of a sudden, dude. What's going on? No, but yeah, thanks to you guys, both Reynad and Noxious for the show and prepping and stuff like that. I mean, I hope you guys have been enjoying the shows lately, just because they've been a little just different, right? Today was more like old school Value Town, but the other ones, we've been spending, I think, a good amount of time, prepping them for you guys. So I hope you guys have been enjoying it, and we're gonna continue doing that. We'll have some, I guess, some more people from the community in the near future, and some players too. Today was a little bit crazy with the event going on, the curse trial. So you definitely you can check that out too. But VODs will be at youtube.com/ChanManV shortly after. I'll start uploading right after this, and I think that's it, guys. So for Reynad, Noxious, and myself, ChanManV, that's going to be Value Town for this week. We'll see you next week. Peace.